Mike Minotti.
Jan Ochoa.
Holy smokes, it's popping in the club, but we're not in the club alone because we have the director of People of Note, Jason Wishnov, in the club with us.
Hi, everyone.
But we're not alone. We're not just a party of three. We're a party of four because our dear friend Alex Boniello is also here.
I'm here.
That's our new thing. When we have a guest, they now have to do their own air horn.
Yeah. I think it's a great thing, and now when I go to the club and I'm just gonna yell that at the top of my lungs. It's gonna be awesome.
Of course. Hello, gents. Thanks for joining us today. We're gonna do a quick look for People of Note, a turn-based musical game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're out here in the club. This is the first dungeon of the game, and we do use that word loosely, I would say.
Yeah, this is still fairly super duper early into the game, right before it opens up and everything. I thought this would be a good spot to introduce folks to. I also like this dude in the club with a gigantic hiker backpack.
Yeah, he gets around.
Yeah. So for folks that don't know, this is a turn-based, like I mentioned, turn-based musical game, which Mike, how many musical games have you come across?
There's the Nightmare Before Christmas sequel on PlayStation 2, and then nothing for about 20 years. Then Hi-Fi Rush came out. I believe only those two definitively.
Fantastic. Jason, did the Nightmare Before Christmas from the PS2 factor in at all into the development of this game?
This is why Giant Bomb is the best in the business, because they ask the real questions. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm sad to say that no, it did not. However, there was a PlayStation 1 era. It was eventually brought over to stateside called Rhapsody, a musical adventure, and it was an RPG like this one, but it was like the PS1 sound chip couldn't reproduce vocals. And it was all sprites moving around on the screen, so it was a far cry from maybe being able to do the genre justice. But that one was I'm just gonna say in the back of my mind. I'll say that.
Okay. So I'm a little bit of a theater nerd, musical nerd. Mike Minotti, I believe you are as well.
Yeah, a smidge. And
I do appreciate the little turn indicator here at the bottom of the screen. Here is Alex, my dear friend. I'm going to break this to you. I don't know how to read music at all, but I do enjoy that this is a turn indicator where the upper number there indicates our party's turns, and then the bottom number there indicates the enemy turn order and also shows what they're going to do.
The time signature.
I feel like I am realizing in this exact moment, perhaps this is a decent time to inform the extended Giant Bomb universe that I'm in this game.
Oh,
that's why I'm here. Why I'm here.
Alex is in the game.
Right. You're right. You're in the game. That's why you're here, not just hanging out.
I am here, and also for the purposes of ethics and games journalism, of course. This would have been happening anyway. So this is just a delightful little small world kind of connection where I get to talk to my friends about a game I was in and that I've beaten and played, but also that I get to talk about Jason and the team who made it, and it's a delight for me to be a part of it, because anybody who's been on this website for a long time knows that I love games more than most things in this world. In fact, I am the Neon White Open champion, still undefeated. So I don't really know when.
Another Annapurna game. Let's go.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, but I was on that 100 top players leaderboard for overall time in Neon White. I wasn't invited to that Open Championship, okay? There's an asterisk on that title, and we're going to do something about that someday.
Mike,
open.
You didn't exist in our minds yet.
No, it was early days for Mikey and Giant Bomb.
So for folks at home, this is the general combat flow, turn-based RPG, but with timing elements here. You have certain abilities to pop off. The BP charges up. Oh God, man, that guy really got lit. But from here, we can independently change to our different members. Cadence here is our primary, our protagonist, and you could tell because of the cool outfits and whatnot. Saren also has a cool outfit. I shouldn't undersell that at all.
Cadence is a little cooler, let's be real.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything just in case. But let's see. He's not doing too hot. How much? Oh, it is easy.
One hit.
Easy. There we
hit.
go. Easy.
One hit. He's gone.
So for basic attacks, there's rhythm-based elements as well as some of our abilities. Our abilities take BP. And after we beat an encounter, leveling up, of course, getting vinyls. We got some vinyls.
Wow.
You always get one. You always get minimum of one. But if you're lucky, you'll pull some extras.
So I wanted to ask, this area of the game here, it's very club-based, EDM kind of, and like this general little section of the world is J-pop, K-pop focused. What are there other glimpses into other genres, or how exploratory are we going to get with People of Note?
Very. Basically, we have each major genre as its own sort of like nation state. It's got its own fashion and culture and people and instruments and so on. But, even within major genres, there's a lot of that conflict, right? So we kind of represent different, districts of these cities as different subgenres. So here in the pop kingdom of Cordia, we have a K-pop district, which is what we're in right now. There's a J-pop district. But over in the rock city of Durandus, which you may or may not head to theoretically after this, there might be an area that represents punk or metal or grunge and so on and so forth. So we really try and represent a lot of the major musical genres as we see them today. You're not going to get everything. We wanted to include the Bollywoods at some point. We never quite got to. But yeah, I think, we wanted to include at least one genre of music that, you as a player like really love. Sure. So that you could always find that one area in the game that you really connect to.
Now, Jason, this is something I find in some movies people are... with the promotion of them, they'll often overlook hiding the fact that it's a musical. But I have really enjoyed that y'all have not shied away from it at all, and I'm curious as to like, it's a big thing to let alone to write original music for a game, but to make a complete whole ass dang musical for one. I gotta ask why.
I mean, perhaps like some other folks in chat, I have been described as, quote, having theater kid energy. And I would say that that's true. And,
there's a support group for all of us, just in case. I'll give you the number. We'll sit down and talk about it.
I could call in. It would really help me, Alex, actually. It's a little, I've always loved musicals, and it's a little trite, but I remember seeing Hamilton in 2017. I know everyone's probably tired of hearing about Hamilton, but I came out of that and I was just like, oh God, I need to make a musical right now, because if I don't do it right now, every game developer in the world is going to do it. And of course, that may not quite have come true the way I thought it would back in 2017. But the idea of using music to tell a story, it's not just on Broadway. I mean, every major Disney movie uses that as a mechanism. I mean, even very recently, K-pop Demon Hunters, that is a straight up musical. But that method of storytelling just had not really been explored in gaming, minus, obviously Nightmare Before Christmas on PS2.
Yes, thank you.
Throwback. So it was something that I really wanted to explore. I thought it would just be such a unique way to kind of deliver a story. And then the other side of me, similar to Alex, is like a weird Final Fantasy freako. So, the type of game I wanted to make was a callback to some of those games from my past, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, a little bit of 10 in there. And try and make a game that did justice to those titles, but did so in a musical way.
That's really neat. Melding two properties that have really mattered a lot to you into one. Specifically, the fact that you're making a musical out of a video game as well is just mind-boggling to me. I know nothing about game development. I just merely enjoy the games. But Jason, we were talking before we started recording. You're not just the director. You're spinning a whole bunch of plates with People of Note.
Yes, so I wrote the script for the game in its entirety. I designed everything in the game, so all battle, all puzzles, the world, everything you see in it. And I also coded, I'm not going to say all of it. We did have a wonderful engineer for a couple of years, Patrick, but he had to take off because some company was like, hey, do you want double the salary you're making at that indie? And he was like, yes. So he left. Shout out to Patrick, though. No shade. I told him, hey, get your bag. So from that point forward in 2022, I was also the only engineer on the project. But I will say that there is a certain kind of synergy that can come from that combination, where if I think of a mechanic or a game or an idea, I could just jump into the engine, implement it, write any supporting dialogue or NPC stuff that I have to, and it becomes very fast. I don't have any barriers. I don't have to run it by several chains of approval. And I do think that hopefully as you go through the game, you can kind of feel that it has, I want to say an authoritative voice, but it's like, I'm a huge goofy dork. So you're just going to hear the voice of a huge goofy dork as you're playing. And there's a lot of crazy puns that no one could stop me from putting in the game. You can't stop me. I'm just throwing them all in there. I don't care.
Yeah, there's
I would like to compliment you on that. Sorry to cut you off, Jan. I would actually like to, again, as somebody who begged Jason for a code as soon as there was one that was, what was I playing? Like a pre-alpha? I don't know.
You were playing, I would call it an alpha. You probably played 6 to 8 months ago, I would say.
Yeah. So it was for me as somebody who does not work in games but has loved games as a major passion of mine my whole life. It was very special to me to be able to text Jason and be like, hey, I think I broke your game. Can I show you how? And he'd be like, please show me how. And then I'm not even kidding. 45 minutes later, you'd be like, I hopped in and I fixed that. Thanks for pointing that. That was really delightful to see. And I just wanted to compliment you on what you just said about obviously many people make the game, but yes, I think your specific voice is clear throughout the game, and the jokes are, I'm here to provide relief to the gamers of the world. The jokes are funny. They're not, hey gamers. There are actually funny jokes in this game. And it's very you. So I think that's really cool.
Hey, nice one.
Yeah, I want to point out that no other voice actor because I didn't want to. I was like, hey, the game's not done. You probably want to wait till launch to have the best possible experience. And he was like, absolutely not. Give me the game now. I'm gonna play it. And I was like, well, hey man, if you want to be free QA for me, which he was, then I'm down. But he went through the entire game. He beat it start to finish. And yeah, he was texting me every now and then, and it was a fun experience for me because at that time, not many people had played it, so it was really cool to kind of see his reactions.
Well, I also think you're underselling as well how difficult some of the later game puzzles get. Because there were truly moments where I was like, and this is I'm saying this parentheses positive, not parentheses negative. There were moments where I was like, I can't tell if this puzzle is broken or if I'm an idiot. And I can't crack it. And then eventually and of course that's not gonna happen to people who are playing a finished product. They'll know that the puzzle works. But I'm sitting there being like, am I an idiot? And then he would be like, just try it again, just restart it. And I'm sitting there and I'm happy to report that some of those later puzzles really give you the, I'm the smartest person who's ever lived, rush after you open a thing. And it really is cool because I was not necessarily expecting puzzles of such depth in a game like this. The Final Fantasy 9s, Final Fantasy 10s, sure, there's puzzles, and Jan I don't even know if anyone was paying attention when we were talking. Jan just bodied one of the first puzzles in the game it was nothing. And that was the easy mode of the you would then ask the guy make it harder. But it's just really cool to see in a year with so many good puzzle games, or the last year I should say, it feels good. There are very puzzle boxy moments in this game that I think will surprise and delight people, actually.
Don't worry, I've been training Jan up. I've been making him watch me play through the entire Myst series. He's getting very good at puzzles and games now.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But I should say, and take this opportunity to say, that in the difficulty options, if you completely want to skip through some of the combat here, which I find to be really fun, engaging in the fact that I can't just sit back and relax. I have to I gotta get the perfect every time, guys.
Wow.
You can turn it off, and the puzzles as well. Am I correct in that?
That is correct, and that's what honestly gave me the feeling of freedom to put those kind of harder puzzles in there, because some people just don't like puzzles in their RPGs. I don't spiritually relate to them, but they're out there and they're totally valid.
Cowards. I'm gonna say it.
All right. And even if you include puzzles, you're like, well, you don't want to, block anyone from completing the game. How do you balance a puzzle? That's a very difficult thing to do. So ultimately, I was like, look, you can just turn them off. It's right in the difficulty settings. You just say puzzles off. You could toggle it at any time. Like, you could try the puzzles out, and maybe they're not for you. But because I let the player turn them off, that gave me the freedom to throw in some, I'm not going to say, like, you're not playing the end game of Baba Is You here. Like, they're not, like, unbelievably difficult, but they are, they're non-trivial puzzles, right? And I think in the beginning of the game, like the puzzles we just did, like they're a nice little onboarding ramp. They're not too tough, but we get there. And I think that's something what I really try to do, and with combat and with puzzles, is to really keep ascending over time. I think a lot of games are, I don't want to use the word scared, but gamers, have lots of options at their disposal. And they want, the developers really want to show them everything they have right away because they want to get them to stay. They want to prove that this game is going to be worth their time. And I understand that. But I also think that there's something so valuable in letting the player layer on extra levels of complexity throughout the entire game, both in puzzle and combat, in a way that's going to feel satisfying throughout the entire experience and not just kind of get stale and repetitive as we get into that 15, 20, even 25-hour mark. So as you're going, you're always going to be finding a new type of ability, in battle that changes synergies, new remix stones. We could talk about those a little later. I know Alex was going nuts about some of the remix stones. And the puzzles start to really, combine different elements of things you've seen before into something, an even greater whole.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a little bit of that in the world here where the crowd just won't move. They're vibing too much.
They're vibing too hard.
They're vibing too hard that we have to manually switch the floor around to get them to move, and now we can do some backtracking here. But we picked something up in one of those chests, a songstone. These songstones are some of the different abilities that you unlock that help you out in combat here. I'm not gonna lie, I am enjoying the puns. I am enjoying a lot of the puns that I'm seeing.
Jan, there is one late game that I have specifically been given instructions that I'm not allowed to talk about. I came unglued laughing at how stupid it was. Like, I was like, Jason, like, how are you getting away with doing this? And then 10 seconds later, it just heightens even further. I'm sitting here listening to this guy talk beautifully and elegantly about game design and how we need to slowly ascend and level up the, these complexities and things. And I'm like, yeah, he did that with one of the dumbest jokes I've ever seen in my entire life at the 15-hour mark. And I really was a really, really happy camper about it. So I just want to underline that.
And I want to be clear, this pun, it's not just a random pun in the background. This is a climactic pun. The game has been leading to this moment for many hours. A not insignificant amount of the narrative was built to support this specific pun. I wish I could say it, but if you are a fan, I think you're gonna really enjoy that one moment later in the game.
We're a big fan of word play, right, Mike?
That's true, Jan Ochoa.
Oh, okay. All right.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mike Minotti.
I don't know why I responded with your phone.
I'm like, is there a pun in his name? Wait, I'm trying to find it. I'm like, wait, Jan Ochoa.
Completely threw me for a loop here. I had something.
I'm sorry. Yeah, nice train of thought you had there, idiot.
Would be a shame if something happened to it.
I'd be afraid if I talked like a maniac for no reason.
But Alex, how's your experience been? Doing VO, not just VO, but singing on the game as well.
Well, I mean, the singing part was the I don't want to say easier part, but it was just the more normal part because I've done some video game VO in the past, but this was one where it was the first time that I got the experience of being a major character with a complete arc. And I'll just say I was really surprised to learn and again to get to learn the sort of breakneck speed of getting the work done. There's it really is amazing to go into the booth and again, to some people listening at home, this might not be of any sort of surprise, but yeah, you're just in the booth alone. Jason's on a TV being live streamed to you. You're performing the role line by line, but of course, no other actors are there. So Jason's like, okay, sick. that was a great take. Okay, moving on to the next one. Right before this moment, this is what happened, and so says this to you. How would you respond? You know what I mean? And you kind of get to go just very moment to moment, and it's the most interesting thing to me was finally playing the game. Every time my character would speak, I would like laugh, and like my brain would have like a strange moment of cognitive dissonance where I'm like,
it's weird, dude. It's weird.
That's my voice coming out of that handsome fellow with swoopy hair. Like I was like, I'm like, but that's me. And again, like I'm sure everybody who has ever provided a voice for anything has experienced some version of what I'm talking about. But it was really, really special, and I am very happy to be playing the specific character I am. I had been trying to break into games for a while. It's a pretty small, kind of small community of recycling actors for good reason. I mean, people are amazing. I don't have to list the names. You know the names. But it's it was really, really great to be kind of let in, and I'm really appreciative to Jason and everybody for that, because I as you can tell, I care, right? Like it's not just a gig. It's not just an acting gig for me. It's love games again more than most things, period. So it was just it's like weirdly the perfect game for me to finally get like a big role in. Kind of worked out nicely.
Jason,
it's crazy to me that way. Sorry, just it's crazy to me that he's like, oh, thank you, and I'm like, I was desperate for a great actor who could not only act but sing at like literally a Broadway level, and he's saying thank you to me. That's crazy, dog. Like
Look, man, I mean, the reality is it definitely is a really hard. Again, I keep saying it, but like anybody listening who's in the VO space or knows, like, there's a lot of barriers of entry to getting voiceover work, right? Like things like type and physical appearance don't matter anywhere near as much. It's really down to the pool of people who can ostensibly play a role is much bigger, which is like a great thing, right? That breeds opportunity, but there's only so many jobs. So, and then you've got your people who are unbelievably good at this, who if they're available, you're gonna want them. So I'm just that's what I mean. I'm glad to get to do it, and I suppose I'm honored and as excited as you are in the opposite direction that I got to be in it. So I appreciate it.
Jason, I need to tell you, here at GB, we're not often the best at critical reading. Gaming skill through the roof. However, critical reading, sometimes we'll thumb through some dialogue. I'll be honest about that.
Well, you just want to go through that maintenance door right there. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, no, it was specifically getting the sad bouncer his cocktail order, and I didn't talk to anyone. And wow. I kind of just...
like no NPCs were spoken to whatsoever.
So I was just kind of just vibe-based thinking about, what would I like as a sad bouncer?
What was your answer?
I went with the Champagne because it's close to my name.
Sure.
Man, I'm sorry that Jan doesn't respect game developers.
No, that's not. There, you actually, from a game design perspective, I think this is the only dungeon where you have to talk to an NPC, but because like you're in a club, and I thought that would be, and you're like trying to get a drink for a sad bouncer.
Yeah.
In general, you don't have to talk to NPCs. It's a little bit of a one-off here. That's okay. I mean, there's a lot of like puns. I took a lot of care in the NPC conversations. I think there are opportunities for world building that most games just view as an obligation. Like if you go talk to a woman and she's like, gosh, when will my husband be home? And I'm like, okay, I don't know who you are, who your husband is, why I should care about you, and this has no relevance on gameplay whatsoever. Like that is a random Persona reference, the NPC you just spoke to.
I was gonna ask. I mean, look, maybe there's other Velvet rooms, but we are playing an RPG. This has got to be Persona related, right?
Absolutely. There are some references to some of my favorite, IPs and things in the RPG space. My company did have a hard rule, which was enforced by me, which is no Nintendo, because they will sue you.
Yes.
So don't do that. Also, no Disney. That was another rule. I could not reference Disney.
That's okay. Nobody likes Disney and Nintendo.
Yeah, those are not popular groups at all. But yeah, there's a lot of like really fun. There's all like deep cut music references for people that are really into that space. But if you're not, it's totally cool. It'll just kind of be like, okay, that's a funny statement.
I do want to show this off real quick. as far as I've been able to tell in my time with the game, no specific random battles that you're coming across, but you can drop a beat here by pressing Y, just get into your own real quick.
Yes,
there you go.
That is a manually triggered random battle. And the reason you would want to do that, of course, is because maybe you want to grind. But the biggest thing, and we saw the guy with the backpack in the club collecting vinyls for a specific area. And just to give a quick shout out to that mechanic, I love getting a rare drop in RPGs. Feels great, right? Like, oh my God, I have something really cool. But if you're at the mercy of RNG, if you have a rare drop, and I'm not even going to say that rare, I was getting 20%. You really want that item. Because thousands of people are playing your game, I guarantee you there will be somebody who fights that battle 20 times in a row and does not pick up that 20% drop, and that sucks. That just feels bad. So what I decided to do is a bit of a compromise. You get one vinyl every single time you fight, no matter what. There are no direct drops, you just get vinyls. You can trade those vinyls in at different costs, 4, 5, 8 of them, for those cool items that you really want. But I still wanted the player to get that maybe lucky hit feeling. So every so often, you'll get a number of bonus vinyls that also pop out of the treasure chest at the end. So you still kind of get that good feeling of getting a rare drop by getting a ton of vinyls at once. You could go trade them all in immediately for that cool item. But no matter what, every battle, you will be making some level of progress toward getting that item.
Nice. Awesome.
I would also like to say too, like that we actually hadn't talked about that being the reason that you did that. And I just want to say too, like that kind of does this nice thing where I just like as time has passed, the like random encounter has become more and more like, you're getting in the way of me like doing this thing. I know I have to battle, I know I have to grind, whatever, but like getting to choose when you do it doesn't discourage you from getting into the fights. It just kind of makes you feel less bad about being interrupted, which is kind of nice, actually. So that's great.
Yeah, an RPG that came out maybe a couple of years ago now, Fantasian, did a interesting thing with their random battle mechanics I enjoyed, where you could skip it.
They would store up, right? They would like, you could skip it, but you'd have to like pay it off later.
Yeah, versus having to like, oh, I'm just walking 2 feet and then I've encountered like 3 different enemies. I enjoy that. So what Cadence is trying to do here, she's trying to get these golden cliff notes to enter, Jason, forgive me, it is a singing contest. It is a...
It sure is. It is the noteworthy singing contest. And let's all be real here. Let's all be real. It's Eurovision. That's what it is. It is this world's version of Eurovision. To give a quick narrative, I mean, this is just very beginning of the game stuff. I'm not really revealing anything. Cadence, up-and-coming pop star, city of Cordia. She wants that fame and fortune. She wants to get on stage. Her method to do so is by winning Noteworthy. She gets up there, she sings her song Under the Lights, but she is met with quick and, shall I even say, unfair resistance from the taciturn Councilman Shark, who is the manager of the city's reigning champion boy band Smolder, who may or may not get in your way as the game progresses.
Jan, you're gonna love these guys. Specifically, Jan is gonna love these guys.
I've seen a glimpse of some of them, and we'll hear a little bit of them after this.
Yes, we will actually. So ultimately, she kind of comes up with this idea. Universe actually here in this battle is instrumental in implanting the idea. She might need to go to other regions of this world, different cities, different nations of rock, of EDM, so on and so forth, to kind of form a band comprising of multiple disparate sources of music, something that this city generally has not heard before, in an attempt to create something really new and unique. So that's kind of the impetus for this adventure. But as we go on, we kind of learn there's more going on in this world. Something strange is happening in the background. There are nations marching north, attacking other nations. There's the hunt for these things called the Keys of Note. I won't get too into that, obviously. But Cadence very quickly gets embroiled in larger events. But ultimately, that's sort of part of the conflict. Cadence is like,
oh no,
yeah, look, that's cool, but like, I just want to enter a song contest. And everyone's like, yeah, come on, Cadence. So that maybe reaches a crux later.
I saw those pores, Jan. I'm not going to let you get away with it.
No, I know. I'm falling apart here. I was thinking in my head as you were talking, Jason, like, wow, I've been getting pretty good timing this whole time so far. And then I screw the pooch there. So she gets Katniss Everdeened, you'll say.
Yeah, that's an accurate way to say it. Yeah, so, and I want to... This battle is not an easy battle, I'll say that. There is we'll see how it goes. I'm waiting to see. It must be extra pressure on a player to have the developer watching you play it. That can't.
No, not at all.
Or great, perfect. A whole range.
It's not me judging you. It's Mike.
I'm the asshole.
I didn't realize we were also doing an annual performance review.
It's happening right now.
Yeah.
So
this is how if you get to keep your co-owner status for independent games media giantbomb.com, you have to hit the timings.
Oh no.
So right here, I want to point out this is a crescendo. So all of the bosses do this to prevent kind of like turtling strategy and to kind of amp up the stakes of the battle. They start off, I'm not going to say weak, but they start off moderately powerful, and then they just get stronger over time. So it kind of creates this race to the finish where you really need to kind of wrap this stuff up as soon as you can, otherwise you're eventually going to get overwhelmed. So it keeps these, battles... Oh, that was great strategy right there because you took Cadence's opening act and distributed it to the person with more HP while still, that's good work right there.
That's gaming, baby.
That's gaming, baby. I love it. I love to see it.
Is kind of the timing stuff. I see the circles when you're attacking. Is there anything on the defense end you're doing with button presses, or is it mostly putting that stuff on the offensive half of the game?
That is a great question. We did have some feedback that was like, hey, what about defense? And a lot of this came from, dare I say it, Claire Obscure, a game that very heavily emphasizes defense.
I was wondering how you're going to feel about, the inevitable comparisons in this post Claire Obscure.
Oh no, compare me to the game of the year. How awful. Please. No, I mean, I'll say this about Claire Obscure's defensive timing. It was woven into the very DNA of combat. It was like a crucial element. But more importantly, they did so much incredible animation work to not only support the system in the first place, but to create interesting, delay timings, multi-hit attacks. They kind of fake you out. It's almost like Elden Ring in a way. Like, the amount of animation work to really make that feel great is immense, and I have incredible respect for that team for doing it. For us, because it was never really a focus, we did not invest in the incredible amount of animation I think required to support that. And so ultimately, it would have just kind of been like one hit right on the beat. And we experimented with it. I actually whipped up a prototype. It honestly didn't feel great. So I figure for me, it's like, hey, you're going to do it great or you're not going to do it. So we kept it to the offensive side of things. And I want to point out, we're very early game here. Later in the game, your more powerful attacks, they get much more intense with regard to the rhythm stuff. And one last note here, just like the puzzles, just like the combat as a whole, you can turn that element off. You can just make it a pure, no QTE RPG experience. Interestingly, it's going to put you at the at the middle of the range. So if your attack just now, it was a 19 to 25 range, we got a perfect, so it was a perfect 25. But if you turn it off, you actually get like a 22. You get like in the middle. So you actually leave a little bit of on the table, but you can turn it off.
Mike, do you see I got 3 perfects there? Are you proud of me?
You're the best, Jan. I'm sorry that I ever said anything to make you feel bad about yourself. I respect you and admire you.
Thank you for reading the script. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, just kind of looking at this for the first time here, I think the combat looks super neat. I definitely love the inspiration. I mean, there are a lot of games that do the, time the attack thing. I don't know if it's because it's the circles, but I am specifically thinking of Lost Odyssey.
Let's go.
Yeah, I see
Legend of Dragoon is another one. I love Legend of Dragoon back in the day. And then shout out to, I want to say Super Mario RPG was the first. I might be missing some obscure piece of video game lore.
That's not,
that was the first one for me.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and it's just something to like, hey, turn-based. I'm a huge chess fan. I love a turn-based RPG, but it's nice to have A, something to kind of break that up, and B, nicely done. We got a round of applause for taking down Universe.
I was sweating.
Yeah. But like, I have seen moments where like your entire band is dead except for one person. They have 30 HP left, and then the range is 24 to 31. So you like need a perfect, and it is so tense when you need that perfect to win. So it creates some really fun moments there.
There was something interesting. Saren here, he had gotten taken out in a different encounter when I was playing through before. But instead of just kind of being like a permadeath, and the game did say that, maybe you'll come across abilities that will help res an ally. there was just a countdown timer instead, where he would come back, but it would take 4 different stanzas or turns, which I thought was fun.
Yeah, basically three and a half stanzas, because usually you're killed at the end of a stanza, and they auto revive. Now during that time, you've lost a turn, which is big, and against bosses, that's a huge deal because remember they're getting stronger over time, so it really delays your thing. But I keep thinking back to like this idea of like, well, you have to have a resurrection, ability equipped, or you're going to be totally screwed. I never liked that element of strategy, or even worse, in like Persona 5, if the main character dies, it's over.
Right.
Which is devastating. So I kind of wanted a system where like it's a disadvantage, like it's going to hurt you, but it's not a death knell, pun not intended, to have a character go down. But like I said, it's a strategic decision to take that ability, which you get not too much after these encounters. It's called Torch Song, to revive them quicker. So that kind of like feeds into the strategy as well. This is Councilman Sharp. He's a big jerk.
What are you doing here, Sharp?
I can tell by his
He looks so
eyebrows.
nice, though.
He looks great.
Yes.
Played by Joe Zija, an incredible voice actor. I think Joe Zija, who's I think he's late 30s. He was I think he was a little emotionally hurt that he got a late 50s character. He was like, God, am I old now? And I'm like, as this character, yeah, you are. But he kills it, and I won't say quite what it's about, but Sharp may or may not have a musical number later.
It's really stupid.
It's
really good.
That one's great.
I hope he stays on key. I hope he doesn't sound a little sharp.
Sharp.
I do see where you're going with that one. I'm happy to report, Mike, that's not the joke. So that's great. You didn't just guess the joke. That's fabulous.
So I should point out, Jason, for my own clarification here, these vinyls, as soon as we leave this little dungeon, that's it, right? We would have to use them all, buy them, trade them with the backpack guy, or just drop a beat here.
Yeah, I would encourage everyone to spend them if you got them right when you leave, because they are only redeemable. However, a little bit of a tip, GB exclusive.
Oh.
There is a late game side quest that may or may not require you to have some vinyls from every area. So maybe keep a few in stock.
Okay.
It's a little late game tip there.
In the various hub worlds here, you'll come across places to buy equipment. But the most important thing, and this speaks to me personally, is this little guy.
Whoa.
Is this good boy?
Mike, I'm sorry. You can pet the dog, but
Okay.
it's an accordion.
Yeah.
Who's a good boy?
I'll allow it.
I'm gonna do it again.
He's a good boy. I'm gonna be honest with you, we almost didn't get it in. We were running up against a deadline. Our animator David did not have a lot of time left. We had discussed it, and he was like, man, I'm just gonna go hard on this one. I'll see you tomorrow. It's a corgi and all night, baby. I was like, are you sure you don't have to do that? It's okay. And he was like, no, I'm doing it for the team.
It's very much worth it.
And then we woke up and we were like, yep, this just raised 10 full Metacritic points. right here. Whatever it was before, add 10.
Yes, as a corgi owner, I was.
Oh, you have a corgi?
Yes.
Excellent. There's also throughout the game, one of my other favorite puns is the Weird Owl.
Yes.
Which it's basically a little trivia mini game, and you collect Weird Owl feathers. Later in the game, you'll meet Ordinary Owl, who's looking for just a little something extra to become a little weirder, and you can trade in your Weird Owl feathers to help him out, and you get some really great rewards. But that's one of my favorite puns in the game too.
Yes.
And it looks like Weird Owl. It's it's very, very funny.
Jason, multiple times. I'm maybe halfway through the next world or the segment after this. Numerous times I've snickered to myself stupid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the dream. That's the dream.
But completely in a positive way.
Yeah, puns are for a certain kind of person, and even for those people who enjoy them, your reaction is generally either a slightly exasperated burst of air, or I just want people to kind of smile and shake their head a little bit, as they're going through this world.
Look at this
who's that?
Ark? Character
Who's
here.
That? It's a little chibi version of Ark, but Who's that
I would
dancing devil?
love if iMessage would implement just automatically. No, that'd probably be AI and never mind. I don't care. I'll just text people regularly.
Yeah, it's fun how everything's ruined.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever.
Let me take this opportunity very briefly. I'm not judging other developers, but no generative AI was used at any point in the making of this game, and that includes coding. I know a lot of people are like, well, it's okay for coding. I'm not making a value judgment. I didn't do it.
There we go.
It's hand grown, baby, handcrafted code.
Farm to table code.
This is the game dev version of saying that you never inhaled.
Yeah, basically. Like I never did it, man. Yeah, it's just connecting with people, the human touch and spirit and art is very, very important to me.
Yeah.
It's what I look for as a consumer. So if you hate People of Note, and that's fine, I just want you to know that you hate the human beings behind it. That's all.
That's a value judgment on you at home.
Yeah, that's exactly. So Cadence is kind of coming to this conclusion here that maybe she needs to show them something new. And Saren says, the city loves Smolder. If you're tired of Smolder, you're tired of Cordia. And she's like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on, I heard this thing. I heard this thing on the radio because of the harmonic convergence, boosting the power of music across the world. And I don't know if you can hear it, but we're listening to some light rock here.
Let me see if I can boost this.
And he's like, hold on. Yeah. And after this, we are going to see one of our musical numbers. And I don't want to interrupt. I mean, well, we can definitely interrupt and make fun of whatever we see on screen. But just as a precursor, the musical numbers in the game, they're not interactive. I know that there was a Stray Gods, the role-playing musical. Austin Wintry worked on that one. And you kind of have a choice as you go. These are not very common throughout the game. You're going to hit them maybe once every, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes a little shorter. You just put your controller down and you watch a crazy musical number. And this upcoming one may or may not feature some vocals by someone who may or may not be on this exact call.
Mike,
right,
what did
everybody.
you do?
Mike was really good. Damn it.
Mike was incredible.
Literally all three of us pulled out our bow and arrows to shoot that joke right in the middle.
Yeah, we were all ready for that one. Damn. Are we predictable?
Damn, we gotta mix it up, y'all.
Mike, I'm not ready to answer that this early in the morning.
No.
For three of us, it's also like 8 a.m. or whatever, so.
Oh, yeah, and I'm very much not a morning person, so I'm just going to let myself in there.
Yeah. I'm also not a morning person, so.
I also want to say real quick, just for the other sickos out there, before we get to the musical number, I do want to say, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it, the end game combination of all of those little, like the song stones and all of this stuff, like you can really break people, like and make like people like, if you get it right, and the combination of certain synergies and certain buffs, like I had moments where I was like, I literally can't believe how much damage I'm dumping out. And I was delighted to hear from you that you were like, yeah, that's the goal. Like we want people to find crazy combinations. And it really, really gets there by the end. I just wanted to make sure that the sickos amongst us knew.
I got to ask, for Saren's back, we're going to get into this. I'll shut up real quick. All right, everyone. Everyone sit down.
Here we go.
Memory. All alone in the excuse me, sorry.
He's going through a cat's time of his life.
We've all been there.
Some never leave. Alex, I know that's very important to you.
Please.
Am I ready for this? Gotta stay focused. Just need a little assist. The deadline's tight, but I'll pack up, take flight, see the world.
Doing everything in my power not to sing along here.
Here I stay. Can she make it happen on my own? A different type of sound, but my voice, something new to sing, will be known. To stand out from the crowd. I'm on the knife's edge. It's the first step to those lights, but they might be brighter than I'd bargained for. The stage is waiting.
Smolder.
Hell yeah.
I love how they have the Madonna mics still.
Oh yeah, dude. Look at these guys.
The pieces fall into their places. This chaos by design.
I love him.
Yeah, he's good shit, man. Nah, he's good shit.
The end is finally in sight. Eyes on the horizon. I can play this.
If I wrote that line, I found out that In the Heights used it. Fuck.
It's okay. No one knows it.
I've always been there, but she's grown beyond this place. Please just come back safe and sound.
Very supportive, bestie.
Yeah. There's some word best. Here we go.
A blazing passion, a spark like mine, but I can't afford a distraction now. I won't let her down. I wanna be
You're very
Tall? I agree.
Very tall.
I was gonna say Kingdom Hearts coded with your outfit.
Tall. All I know.
Item review.
One day more.
That was in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't Mike just dropping that now.
Yeah, that was his part, and he nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love the songs. I love the songs when everybody gets to sing for a little bit. I'm like, oh man, it's really happening now. This is
We
good
love
stuff.
a medley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Is that
I
the
also-
actual title drop? I'm sorry, because that's an amazing title drop.
That is the actual title drop. Yeah.
Well done.
Yes.
I don't want to.
I love a 3-hour delayed title drop.
Yeah, it's
Incredibly thrilling.
it's like a 2.5 hour title drop delay.
I don't want to spoil too much of the game for the folks at home, but this is where the game starts to open up. You head over to this next land. But Jason, Alex, thank you for spending a couple moments with us. I gotta say, I'm a big musical mark, and it's funny that this demographic of gamer and musical nerd hasn't been tapped as often as it should be. But I'm pretty juiced after that opening number. I'm not gonna lie.
I would agree, and I love that for you.
But Jason, any like last minute plugs for the game? This video itself will be coming out April 7th. But for people of note, when's it dropping? Where is it dropping?
People of Note is out today, April 7th. It is available on Steam, Epic Games Store, Xbox Series X and S, the Switch 2, and of course the PlayStation 5. Hopefully, if you have a machine, you can play People of Note on it. This has been the culmination of literally over 6 years of my life, of the lives of so many incredible, talented artists, including our boy Alex B over here. No matter how much he tries to downplay it or say, "Oh shucks, he was amazing," and you're gonna love his performances arc in this game. Check it out. It's my dream game. It's the game I have been wanting to make since I was a small child, downloading RPG Maker and trying to mess around. And the idea that I got, however much money I got, too much money, to make a game like this is the honor of a lifetime. I'm being real sappy here, but I really do mean it. And yeah, thank you guys for checking it out.
Oh, yeah.
And it means a lot. I really do appreciate it.
Awesome. Mike, Alex, you have anything left you want to say, big dog, before we get out of here?
No, I had a great time working on it. I genuinely wouldn't have been able to say yes to coming on the Quick Look if I didn't legitimately think the game was great. And it is, and that's amazing. And I think a lot of people are gonna really like it a lot, and that's really it's really exciting. And congratulations to Jason, congratulations to Giant Bomb for staying independent. And
Yeah, let's go.
I don't know. That's it. Yeah, and that's it.
All right, Mike, sing us off.
I did not live until today. How can I live when we are parted? The world's away.
Yo, is he nailing this?
Wait, is that a real cough or?
That was real. It's just a little early. The liquid death isn't lubricating the vocal cords like I hoped.
All right.
Thanks for having me. Great job, Alex. Jason, the game looks very cool. Seriously, super into that. Can't wait to play it myself.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.